Watching Sunday Morning Matters on KC24, your local election headquarters.
White officers, white supervisors tend to, there's a disparate treatment aspect, tend to receive second chances, tend to be able to emerge from that doghouse, proverbial doghouse, in a way that non-white, or in this instance specifically Hispanic, supervisors and officers are unable to. And we believe that the evidence will show disparate treatment in that sense.
The city of Fresno, former police chief Jerry Dyer and current police chief Andy Hall being sued by a sergeant within the department. Sergeant Tony Bustos claims he was denied promotions in retaliation for raising a safety issue inside the department. And as you heard from Bustos' attorney, he's accusing the department of discrimination against officers who are not white. So former police chief and current Fresno mayoral candidate Jerry Dyer releasing a statement this week, in part, quote, "Race had absolutely nothing to do with my decision to not promote Sergeant Bustos. The individual I promoted to lieutenant, who was directly behind Bustos on the lieutenant's list, is also Hispanic. My decision to not promote Sergeant Bustos to the rank of lieutenant was based on significant input I received from my deputy chiefs and who expressed concerns with him being promoted. The decision to not promote Sergeant Bustos was based on what I felt to be in the best interest of the department and the community," end quote. Again, that's from Jerry Dyer. So let's bring in our panel. Time to take roll call. KC24 political analyst, former Fresno County Superintendent of Schools Larry Powell is here. The executive editor for the San Joaquin Valley Sun and media advisor for Jerry Dyer's mayoral campaign, Alex Tavlian, is here. And current Fresno City Councilman and Council President Miguel Arias is here as well. Gentlemen, welcome to our Super Sunday show. Of course, this new bombshell lawsuit hitting the city, Jerry Dyer and the current police chief Andy Hall, a month before the primary here, especially for Jerry Dyer. Alex, I'm going to start with you. You're his media advisor. You look at this and the mayor says, hey, it's not going to hurt him at all, but this has to be some sort of a roadblock and not looking good when voters are taking a look at this.
You know, the reality is this is a Fresno Police Department internal matter. And the reality is I think a lot of people understand that you have to make tough decisions when you're mayor. And you have to make tough decisions when you're a police chief. And what Jerry Dyer did was look at the wealth of evidence and information that he had about a sergeant and decided to go with another sergeant on the list looking to become a lieutenant. I'll note that one thing that has been missing from the reporting is that the sergeant who is currently engaged in this litigation was also investigated by Internal Affairs for misconduct and for engaging beyond the scope of his authority. So there are some issues here that I think have been publicly aired before related to this specific sergeant. And so what people are really seeing is the difficulty of being an employer and having to manage people and making tough decisions that you think are in the best interest of your agency in one sense and the city as a whole.
Miguel, I want to come to you. There was talk there of Sergeant Bustos saying there's discrimination inside the police department. Have you heard such allegations before?
I've heard similar allegations, and I've heard that it's been a trend for years in the police department. I will tell you that the policing of our city is the largest and the biggest and most important responsibility for taxpayers. It's also the single largest liability for the city of Fresno. The last 10 years, we have spent $10 million in lawsuit settlements. We have millions more in outstanding threats and pending cases that we have before us from his tenure. And this is a trend. It's a trend that, if it continues, it's going to put the financial ability of the city at risk, because we cannot sustain that level of liability.
Larry, I'll come to you now.
Well, trends that happen a month before an election are always a little bit suspicious. So when you have these kinds of allegations, let me give you an example of myself. When I was in a school district, I finished #1 in the interview with 2 different panels 6 times and did not get the job once. There were other issues that were needing to be addressed at the time. I didn't go file a suit, even though I finished #1 in the interviews. That just happens in businesses. Now, do you do everything you can to have your leadership reflect your community? Absolutely. We did that in education. I know they try to do the same thing. Obviously, a Hispanic was promoted to the position that Bustos was interested in. So I always have a little bit of question when that kind of thing comes up. I know what it's like not to get it. Everybody who doesn't get a promotion feels hurt.
Well, I'll finish on this because we heard the mayor He didn't give a ring endorsement to Jerry Dyer, but he's basically said use your own words there, because he said at this time Andrew Jans is not qualified. Is that an endorsement?
I wouldn't say an endorsement, and I don't believe an endorsement from a mayor or a council member is much value at this point. I think what's more valuable...
How is it not a value?
What's more valuable, Evan, is that candidates talk to voters directly.
Alex on, by the way.
Alex on.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. That they talk to voters directly. I think a bigger handicap for the former police chief is his avoidance of public forums where he's intentionally getting away and hiding from the general public. That is going to be far more important. Knocking on doors, talking to people directly, and not hiding from them.
And we've seen both candidates knock on doors. Actually, all the candidates. Yeah. Well, I don't know about all the candidates. I know the top 2 candidates have been knocking on doors consistently. Yeah,
you know, to be honest with you, what people are going to be weighing in this election, and this is evidence of this, is someone who's capable of managing a major department, capable of managing thousands of people, and someone who has never managed a single person. And that's the choice that voters have this election, is someone who has management experience, knows what it takes to manage multi-million-dollar budgets, and someone who's never had to manage.
Larry, was that an endorsement or not? Or you wouldn't go that far yet?
It's not an official endorsement, but obviously it tells the community where he's leaning. But I think it's interesting. I learned something a long time ago. An endorsement from anybody is only 1 vote if they live in your district. So, so you have to live in the district to even get help from them.
And your ability to manage a department is also a reflection of your ability to mismanage a department. And I would argue that at this point, when we've paid out $30 million in lawsuits and have $20 million of more exposure, a mismanagement argument can be made by the candidates at this point.
Sounds like you're making an endorsement for Andrew Jans.
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
My endorsement
use your words, Alex. Use your words.
Yeah,
my endorsement is 1 vote. That's how it counts.
I want to get to this because there's a lot going on this week. The cannabis adult use, recreation marijuana, the adoption of the agreement that actually you worked with, Esmeralda Soria worked with, Chief Hall, the mayor, everybody's on board. 4-2 vote this week. So here we go with the pot shops. But we had Chief Hall on this show last week, and this is where I want to get with this, because he said it's no different than a liquor store, talking about the pot shops when it comes to safety. But as we've seen time and time again, liquor stores are robbed all the time. Is this a bigger problem than a moneymaker?
It's actually less of a problem than a liquor store. All the cities that we visited had less cost for service in a cannabis retail location than they did at a liquor store and a convenience store. Convenience stores and liquor stores are the highest users of cost for service in our community. That's why this last year, we took on the saturation of liquor stores in South Fresno and the city as a whole.
So the chief is saying it's no different than a liquor store. So I'm saying you just proved my point. Is pot shops going to be more of a problem than a moneymaker?
You know what? I've seen both angles of this. I've seen what Miguel is saying, where they can be somewhat similar. I mean, before doing what I'm doing now, I worked for a law firm who represented a number of landlords who leased out space to marijuana shops. Multiple break-ins, multiple issues where you had armed robbery. I think a lot of it depends on the management of the individual licensee, number one, and ensuring that they mitigate risk, but also, more importantly, how they interplay with the police department, the local police department, to increasingly mitigate that risk by having a heavier presence. I think when you start off the beginning stages of a marijuana market, you have to be a little more heavy-handed.
Larry, what do you think about this?
Well, as a former educator, I'm against any kind of pot use, and I'll tell you why, because I've seen the damage done to families with it. So somehow, I understand you have to manage it, you have to do something because it's going to be used, but you got to find a way to make sure kids are not involved, that the families, the mother and the father of the kids who are going to school, don't let their kids get access to it. So it's a real conundrum for us in education, because I've seen the damage done to kids when they come to school high on drugs. And it's not just marijuana, it's other things as well. And no matter what anybody says, it is a gateway drug in a lot of ways, because once the kids see parents using, boom, the next thing they're using too.
Okay, we got to punctuate it there. Good stuff, guys. Second round coming up very, very soon. All right, coming up, outrage in Avenal. Landfill has residents petitioning to have it removed. They say it's hazardous to their health. For the first time, a city council member in Avenal breaking his silence. Next.